Yo, it's the exam coach checking in with you, bang in the middle of exam season. I hope everybody's cruising, going well, getting their head down, putting in the hard yards. But one thing that I think is important at this stage is that we do also think about how we can make our performances consistent across the whole of exam season. Because I know a lot of you have maybe done one, two, three, or maybe you've still got one just around the corner and you haven't started yet. But really, it's that consistency of performance that we're looking for so that when we get that results card, it's balanced. We've got a nice spread of results. We've got a lot of options still open. Yeah, we might want to have some cracking some cracking grades within certain subjects that we want to take further or that we're naturally interested in or that we just think are going to be semi-useful in later life. But consistency is always good because it shows that you can, try your hand at a lot of things, apply your brain to a lot of different situations, and have an understanding of it. It's evidence of that, essentially. And really, one of the best ways I've found of doing that, and students have practiced and trialed, is setting up a robust set of routines and systems. I know I go on about this quite a lot, but it's because it works. That's why. Routines and systems, that is what creates consistent, calm, high exam performance. So let's think about, well, I'm going to give you one tip right now that is in the 7-day exam plan and is obviously part of the whole system and routine that we're using there with every exam, both before, during, after, throughout revision and other things. But really, I want to focus on the exam situation itself, that high pressure situation when you're in the exam, you're under time pressure, you need your mind to focus, right? You don't want it all over the place. And I know what it feels like. Sometimes you just wake up in the morning and you're not feeling amazing. And you go into the exam and you're still not feeling great and you're struggling to concentrate. Things are, catching your attention around you. Maybe it's, Shanice next to you, twiddling her pen, and Bobby, he's making a paper airplane 2 rows in front, or whatever. That's happening. It's catching your attention. Maybe the invigilator just looks a bit weird, and you're looking at them a lot and just watching what they're doing. Weird stuff like that just pops into your head, and you can't focus on your paper. So here's a routine that all the 7-day exam planners will be executing flawlessly, and it should help you as well. When you go into an exam, you should absolutely, every single time, be playing a little game inside your head where you are essentially trying not to notice anybody around you, meaning you don't make eye contact with anyone. You don't look at them. You don't notice who they are. Yeah, you're probably doing exams next to your mates and your buddies and your friends and your girls and whatever. But you need to make sure that this is a little game that you try the next time you go into an exam. And here's why. The amount of times I've spoken to a student and asked them, how did the exam go? And this was when I was at school, just with my friends, and both, when I started doing the exam coaching thing. And I just asked them, look, how did the exam go? And the first thing they would actually tell me would be things that other people did, weirdly. So they said, oh, it was interesting. Bob left half an hour early. He actually only was in the exam for about 5 minutes, and then he just went. And yeah, I do think Izzy was cheating because I noticed she went to the loo about 9 times, so that looked a bit dodgy. And I go, no. What about you? How did it go for you? And they said, well, yeah. Apart from watching, watching everybody else and seeing that, it was quite distracting. But I think it went okay. I didn't finish the paper, but it went okay, and tried to answer everything as best I could. And really, when you look at that, that little role play there, I'm not an actor, forgive me, but you look at that, and I'm thinking, right, first things first, get your head down, get your head in the right spot. You should not be noticing anything that anybody else does in the exam room. Simple as that. End of discussion. And if you want to do things the exam coach way, you take it one step further and you literally play a game with yourself. You do not recognize the people to the left, to the right, forward and behind of you in that exam room. If you come out of that exam and you cannot, literally, you cannot name anyone who was around you in the vicinity. Maybe the only person you actually recognize and acknowledge their presence is the head invigilator who's reading out those rules that they read out at the beginning of every exam. That person, that's the only one that you actually recognize. Everybody else is just a blur. They don't exist. They're not there. You don't notice anybody going to the loo. You don't notice anybody making paper airplanes. You don't notice anybody twiddling their thumbs and doing nothing. You don't notice anybody writing a paragraph of an essay. Nothing. You focus completely on your own performance. And I guarantee you, if you play that game every single time you go into an exam and stick to that routine, you're going to win yourself back 5 to 10 minutes of time. You're going to speed up your thinking 1.5, 2 times, 3 times. You're going to give yourself the headspace and room to actually think and concentrate on what actually matters for you. And you know what? The other thing is you're just going to do better. You're going to get better results. It's as simple as that. Because exams are a solo sport. It's not about comparing yourself to what everybody else is doing, to how quickly they're going through the paper, to what they're writing, what they're even like looking like when they're thinking or pondering about a question. It just doesn't matter. So there's a little routine for you. Play that game every single time. Build up your own routines. Get it going, right? This is why I keep on bringing up the 7-day exam plan, because that is the blueprint. That is the set of routines, the things that you need to be doing in order to create that consistency. But I want to obviously at this stage be able to give it to you in little bite-sized chunks that you're actually going to be able to implement with the little time we have left to actually do this and get it going. So look, crack on, try that routine, keep going. Remember, it's a marathon, not a sprint. Stay positive. If you had a bad exam, put it behind you. Doesn't matter. Move on. If you had a great exam, great. Doesn't matter. Next one, you start from zero and you go again. I'm checking out.